good afternoon, good morning, good time zone. That is what Ryan says, and it's a really efficient way to do it. Everybody, this is GOVitational Ren and 7 Midnight Hunt finals week. We have got the semi-finals first between ScotM and Eldborn before the finals, where they'll play the winner of that best of 3 will play AtomicMushroom in a best of 5. That's the format. Most importantly, I will throw you over to my booth buddy to introduce themselves. Throw.
Okay, good time zone. I'm Mianthril. I don't know what I should say about myself. I'm not a good drafter, but for some reason, Cardlinger likes to have me here. So I'll do the color commentary, and I'm sure that I will put a new twist to word expert tonight.
What I love is that it's like a support circle, admitting you're not a good drafter, and then of course I now have to admit that the color person has to be even better than the person talking. So I am admittedly even worse than Mianthril. So there you go. But that's fine. We're here to get better, which is what it's all about. And speaking of getting better, I'm not sure Scott can get much better, having won the last 2 GOVitationals, but he's still in the hunt. So good for him. Right, Mianthril.
That's the reason why we're sitting here.
That's right.
And not playing the GOVitational, right?
Sadly, we can't talk and play, but we can talk, surely. Let Scott know he can fire over the request to Eldborn, and we'll see if we get this first semi-final underway. While you are doing the typing admin, we'll mention Eldborn and Scott met before in this finals week. So Eldborn previously beat Scott and was in the winners bracket for a while before dropping down to join Scott. So Scott will be looking for more or less immediate vengeance in this tournament against Eldborn. Eldborn, of course, has been a finalist before and has fallen at the last hurdle. I can empathise with that. I've managed that once, so who knows? Let's see if Eldborn can go one better this time and beat not only Scott, but possibly also AtomicMushroom in the finals.
What a humble brag that you were in the GOVitational finals.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd slot it in there because they say commentators sometimes you don't know what they've been through, or it's like you're only there as the face of NFL. You've not had traumatic head injury playing this sport, so I can say I've had the traumatic head injury of finishing in 2nd place before.
I think you're better than me there, because I once lost the lower bracket final, I think, but I lost it, so I think even to Amurphsmash or something.
You got to be in it to win it.
Must have been like a bribery thing, not to let the tournament organizer lose.
I was going to say losing to Murph is the most honourable way to do it, and I'm pretty sure that every time I've played him, I have beaten him because I'm evil.
Sure.
All right. Is Scott seeing the message? Because we'd like him to invite Eldborn.
I'll ping him again. Perhaps it's better that I like that.
Excellent. I forgot if he's deafened and sharing his screen, then maybe he can't see the message. So I've totally nailed the logistics here. This is what happens when I do it on the weekend after a long week of work.
That happens.
Boom! Here we go. I see life in the invitation world.
The ping did the job.
Excellent.
So what are we having as a matchup here? We're having like Golgari against Orzhov, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Looks like Eldborn will play the aggressive part. Stuff like Bed Whisperers, Champion of the Perished. But the Meteor Massacre is quite a good weapon against that.
Oh, no kidding, no kidding. That's the kind you want. So yeah, I think black features in all 3 of the final decks, which is interesting because obviously blue is consensus the strongest color.
Yeah, but I think black is a close second, right?
Absolutely. We're in.
Let's see, Eldborn goes first. I think that's good for the aggro deck.
Would you keep or Mel?
Keep, definitely keep.
Me too. That's fine. That's fine. We've had a little side conversation about keeping mono color hands, but lands and spells, and that's a lovely free drop.
There has been some discussion with hands like these, but I think there's really no argument. You can't really mind this.
Agreed. And there you go. Got all the tools they want, including a farmer for extra land and mill. Life is good.
Unruly Mob, not really like the greatest 2-drop.
Indeed not. But I suppose black-white's where the mob wants to be if it wants to be anywhere.
Exactly, yeah. The thing is, if I have another 2-drop, I'd usually play the other 2-drop, because then I can play the mob the turn after and perhaps
Get the trade, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the things won't trade, but at least get some damage through.
So are we speculating that Eldborn did not have a viable 2-drop and maybe was keeping on a risk?
That would be my guess here, but
We'll make a note and we can ask if they come into the booth, because obviously what I'm always looking for are just ways to validate your punditry. This is all about boosting your ego.
Of course. That's what I'm here. Oh,
Now that's a big boy, and is going to be
no.
highly problematic unless Scott can dig up some efficient removal.
I mean, he has the duel in hand, and the eccentric farmer actually already eats the Cathar.
So there is some hope there.
So, yeah, this is kind of dangerous for Eldborn, because he's at risk of getting ambushed by the re-entering Timberland guide.
Yes, of course. There's a bit of a sneak there. So this is one of those tricky things with Brutal Cathar. You want to be developing the board right, so you're not just going to pass the turn and not cast a spell to flip it. But that does
Exactly.
leave it somewhat vulnerable. Does Eldborn have any tools for counter magic? I'm thinking, Flare of Faith is the only thing I can think of that would put a human relatively safe, and that's also not the sort of combat trick most people have been running in the set.
Yeah, he's running a Flare of Faith though, so if he passes without casting anything, I would say it's likely that he has it, but I think usually he really wants to get aggressive here and add to the board.
Yep, develop. We shall see. Eldborn thinking away.
Yeah, some choices at least.
Yeah, goes with another boy. So he's prepared to take their lumps on Cathar getting eaten by the farmer.
Yeah.
Is that what we're going to see?
I think I like spending all on my mana here and casting either Shadow Beast or the Scoundrel.
Yep, so early development is key.
Also now it's not uniquely a bad thing if Eldborn wants to flip it tonight, because then the Scoundrel it's pretty hard. And possibly you might even need to remove the Outrider instead of the Cathar first, because
yeah, with mob getting its own counters and Outrider spreading them everywhere, some stuff can grow out of reach pretty fast.
Exactly. I didn't even imagine that Scott would really like it to become knight here, because next turn he has Admire plus duel lined up, which is kind of a good turn if it's a 3/5.
It is, but if you don't remove the Cathar and you flip it back today, another creature gets eaten.
Yeah, that's of course not great. How much human removal does Scott have?
Going in for the attacks?
That's really suspicious.
It is. Presenting a potential combat trick. Cathar obviously is screaming that they're holding something.
I think looking at the deck list, I would kind of assume that this is Flare of Faith and not Blessed Defiance.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you'd hate to give up the Cathar for sure. And Scott sniffs it out.
Yeah, you can take 4 here.
Outlaw. The sneaky extra 2.
Getting punished. And Flare of Faith is still up if he has it. So
that's right. But now Duel is able to stay up in response. So there's a handy little option for Scott.
Yeah.
Punching in, fighting back. You hit me for 4.
Not sure that he can raise here. Doesn't really look like it. Then again, yes, it's lots of action in hand, so
for sure. So thinking about putting Outlaw on it to get the counter on the mob and an Odric counter. I guess Eldborn gets the benefit of the trades here. Nope, lets it through. Although, of course, sorry, Outlaw would not trade because Scoundrel's flanking ability.
Yeah, nothing would you can't reblock that. I mean, the best thing about the Scoundrel is that people on Arena regularly forget how the ability works. So they often like jump or double block it even, and then
And forget the
be
methods.
surprised that it doesn't work out.
Yeah, see, I'm old enough that I remember Mirage when flanking was a thing, so I'm like, oh, I've seen that go wrong before.
Flanking, that's a word I haven't heard in a long time.
Yes, it's kind of
Not that
weird
I've
taking
ever played.
20 years off a game. You find lots happened between.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think I've ever played with a flanking card or against.
I'll dig one out the shoebox for you when we get the Europe get together.
Oh, nice. I think I might have had some old cards with flanking, but that was at a time where I really wasn't understanding the rules of Magic, so I couldn't process that.
Oh, stuff like that didn't help, but
I think.
just imagine banding.
Yeah, banding is like a nightmare. I have no idea what it does. Like some sort of creatures block together and you can choose damage, but that's it.
Bingo. So allowed its turn tonight rather than use duel. Gets another creature in hand. Can now Shadow Beast and keep duel up, so it's getting better. But obviously that Cathar potentially flipping back is a little dicey. Although of course it's that whole, you could try dueling it, but if it flips back today, then you duel and then they Flare of Faith. It's going to be a creature-eating blowout, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think
it's tough, right? Scott's got lots of options, but not sure if any of them are particularly good.
Yeah. The Flare of Faith is really that supposed Flare of Faith is really doing some work here.
It definitely is, and maybe it was just a fantastic bluff attack early on, right? Because it's open deck lists. So there's that whole, they can't attack with Cathar unless they've got to have it.
That would have actually been pretty interesting, yeah. Yeah, that doesn't work.
Don't forget the ability. Well, that mob could just die to this block, right?
I think if Scott if Eldborn plans to use the Flare of Faith on defense here, Scott is like jumping because he finally can get his duel.
That's
through.
right. Yeah.
And get the Flare off the board. He's just jumping. Okay.
Straight jump. Couple of counters get spread around. Is that Werewolf going to become a 4/4 first striker?
Exactly.
Looking good.
I think now Scott kind of needs just to sit back, either cast the troop. I think he gets to cover, yeah.
So is it going to make it 3 power and hold up some mana? Yeah, that's sensible.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Very good. Although of course, that itself also screams combat trick of my own. But yeah. You're right. Gets to start Super Trooping. Just don't put it on the farmer. I was listening to, what was it, Lords of Limited recently saying that they've just seen so many times people just drop a counter from the troop and not realize they've switched it off. Like, whoops.
Yeah. I won't pretend like that never happened to me.
Oh, I've definitely done it too. Yeah, I love listening to podcasts for here's the list of stupid things because it's like bingo for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I had a deck with like three troops, and it was getting so complicated. But I really managed sometimes just to get all 3 triggers off and then like negate 2 of them by ordering them in the wrong order.
Oh.
So Calvin gets turned off by the first one.
Ouch. So here it's
gonna getting 3 counters per turn, it's still fine, but yeah.
This is true. So we're going to flip back today here. So Brutal Cathar's going to get to eat something else, and they're still holding mana up and have 1 card in hand. So if that card is Flare, the window for duel is too thin. Anything but duel is a different matter. Yeah. But yes, this could be another creature hiding under the Cathar.
I mean, now...
Not necessarily a bad thing, right? The board's balanced and Shadow Beast sighting. So yes, Cathar eating another creature is annoying.
I mean, the bad thing kind of is that the Cathar will eat the troop, so this one is gone for good because when it comes back as a 0/0.
Ah, yes. So now's the time
But I
to
still
use
think,
Flare.
yeah, I think that's smart because you kind of can't play around the Flare Faith
No,
anymore
that's right.
because
Now's the
we kept it
time.
open.
So
And
we're
he
what?
needs to hope for something else to deal with it
90% sure he
afterward.
has it right here?
Yeah. Actually, does it even still work? Because like the Cathar isn't a human anymore, right?
Oh yes, so
It isn't a
yes,
human
they
anymore. Okay,
trade. You're right. It's a pure werewolf. So you're right. It's just a straight trade. Okay, well
I
that gets that off
really
the board.
okay. Now I'm actually really liking Scott's position here.
Yeah, this now looks very healthy with Shadow Beast sighting to come.
I mean, Cathar would probably come back via the core from the cellar, but still, Scott has many good draws.
That is
Giant
true.
Survival, Midnight Ambush.
And a rebirth to bring back his own creatures.
It's like 2 more creatures. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, so you're right. Crawley's a little bit of a pain for the Cathar coming back, but you're right. Outrider is making its own problems. It's got a fairly hefty rump trying to fight through that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, but I mean, Scott effectively has 4 cards in hand, and Eldborn has 2, 1 in hand and 1 flashback. So I think the long game will be quite hard to win for Eldborn here.
Yep, absolutely. I think they need to land Cathar and not have it unstick, which is going to be tricky.
Yeah, something like that.
As expected, it comes back. Do you see it eating the wolf?
I'm not sure. It's either Beast or Troop. Probably Troop, because the Troop
Yeah,
is
very
generating
nice.
value.
Yep. Ah, well,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
That'll deal with Cathar permanently at the expense of Troop. Or do you go Outrider?
I think you have to take the Cathar. Because you kind of don't want to end up in the board stall where it just goes
just
back and
keeps
forth
eating.
and flips.
Fair enough.
And also, you can get back the Troop with the core from the seller to get, and one counter pattern will in the long term definitely beat the Outrider. So
Excellent.
I think you're fine there. I think you can even take here if you want to. Yeah.
Someone has joined the room and might not realize they're sharing their camera. Maybe it's the back end of their smartphone or something, but they may want to turn that off. There's nothing worse than doing that. Like, it's the Zoom scandal thing of the pandemic. I don't know if they read about it. There was a Spanish counselor who decided it was a good idea to have a shower during a meeting. Oh dear. I mean, it's great to multitask, and we all do it when we're on work calls, but that's like one step too far.
Yeah,
So,
showering during meeting, I haven't done that, I think.
yeah,
I have
efficient.
actually set lectures in the university and just sat. But I guess you can do that in person too in university.
So I think you're bang on now that Scott's really in the ascendancy this game.
Absolutely. I don't really see what everyone can draw here to get out of this. I mean,
Yeah.
Scott is at 10, so it's not like impossible to get there with some sort of siege zombie plus a flyer.
Yep. But
But
otherwise, you know, Troop's gonna race counters just as much as Outrider and Mob are. So
exactly.
yeah,
I'll
yes.
just put out one.
Tempo set, hey? Tempo set. Just think of the quality of the final with these two sparring for game one of the best of three in the semi-final. This is going to be huge.
I mean, I think it's perfect for Scott that he could warm up in the qualifier, and now he gets the real stakes.
Yeah, play for the real prize. So now can send extra creatures. This is definitely putting a much firmer clock on things. And it's night, of course, so the ambush is even sweeter.
That's all.
Yep, sets up a door.
He's
This is gonna be ugly.
He's in complete control of this game. I don't think anything anyone can do.
Yeah, I think we'll be moving on to game 2 presently.
I'm already looking at the sideboards.
Very good.
See what they might begin.
This is why we pay you the big bucks to join the booth.
Exactly. If my predictions are right, I want to get paid double next time.
Hey, you're the mathematician, not me. Yes, maths is for blockers and booth budders who want pay rises. That's that.
To be fair, Eldborn also do a lot of lands there, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see how many gods there are in his library.
That was heavy for sure. So Scott's looking at Return to Nature coming in. Is that for Grave Hate? We didn't see any enchantments or artifacts, so
I'm not sure. I mean, they have access to their whole lists, and Eldborn is playing 2 candle traps.
okay. So that's a board for the things we didn't see.
Yeah, I mean, it's still. I mean, you need to time it right to get the candle trap, because otherwise they just activate the ability.
That's right. Yeah.
There are some fringe applications, like there's a Ghoulish Possession too, that I guess on the play can be kind of scary.
Yep. Good.
And
Versatile.
And the exile thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Eldborn has too many options in his sideboard. From what I see from the deck list, there's a Thraben Exorcism that he won't want, so that's the Sanctifier.
Cool.
Ritual of Hope might be interesting, but yeah, not sure. My guess is that Eldborn really wants to be aggressive here, because Scott's long game is just something.
Yeah, it's daunting, isn't it? So there's the third land off the top. So a very, very smooth curve for Scott.
Absolutely. Nice suit-up also that blocks the veteran.
Yep, loves it. Or so the question is, will Scott top deck the Bird of Mara turn 3 just to make that Vampire Enslaver very sad?
If I was in Eldborn space, my opponent would always top deck the Bird of Mara now.
If there's one thing I've learned from this set, it's that you no longer admire birds.
I like admiring birds on my side of the board. I think it's actually a good card.
You don't like other people admiring your birds?
Yeah, especially if my birds are actually vampires. Because even player-wise, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's a taxonomic nightmare as well. Did you see in a recent New Zealand survey, a bat won New Zealand's best bird competition?
Really?
Yeah, there was this public campaign to raise awareness of a bat in New Zealand, so it won the best bat competition. And unlike our miserable country, where you can try and name a ship Boaty McBoatface and the government overrules you, they allowed the survey to stand. So, farmer first. Yeah, not expecting stuff to die too quickly, so opportunist isn't a must. And farm to farmer and some land. I mean, that's the ultimate farmer mill, right? One of itself and some lands.
Absolutely. Very eccentric.
The most.
I mean,
you are feeding pumpkins to a centipede, so you know that's wacky.
Definitely.
So the curve is perfect here. The question is, how soon? You know, how dangerous is the clock with something in the air and no bird admirer or removal?
Exactly. Yes.
9 turns. So not too bad.
You are the mathematician after all.
Yeah. Well, I can do 17 divided by 2 and a little bit of rounding, but nothing more than that. It just gets complex. The flesh take is a little scarier though, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you have a Pestilent Wolf to ultimately deal with it, and at the moment, they can take real creatures to it, and you're fine.
Excellent.
The problem with the eccentric farmer play, I think, was that okay, he just passed the opportunist now. I was going to say that if you want to use all your mana, the opportunist might take some time to
That's
get
right.
down.
Yeah, mana efficiency. So Oppo on 3 allows you to Shadow Beast on 4 rather than farm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And Shadow Beast is actually not a bad blocker for the Flash Taker because it needs to sacrifice 2 creatures to survive.
That's right. So that
I
is
think you're
a
fine with that.
tall ask. Nevertheless, I think Scott's still got plenty of ammo in hand.
Absolutely. Can you somewhat amplify the interloper? Not directly, right? Yeah, not really.
Yeah, I think the only way to buff the vampire is with flare, right? And I think El's got other considerations for the use of that.
Yeah, I mean long-term plans like Oryx Outrider.
Yep,
Probably
slow gain.
but I mean I guess he can let creatures die at will. That's interesting. I wonder what his cards in hand are.
Yeah, let stuff through. And has milled a crawl, which the horde
Currently doing
immediately eats. Mythic common.
Yeah.
So
That and Organ Horde are really
yeah, crazy. I read some speculation that Diagraph Horde might have been uncommon downshifted to common very late in play design, which is why it seems quite powerful for a common.
yeah.
Ooh, thinking
I
about sending the
think
wolf? Interesting.
especially sending the wolf without having mana up.
That's right, because it's you. I liked your take that it's the cleanest way to stop the Flesh Taker advancing. Whereas now it's
Yeah,
a sack the Lunarch to put it out of range.
I mean, you draw a card if you Scott here, but then again, you have so much ammo anyways.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Um,
true. Other fish to fry, and I guess yeah, Scott's the beatdown, right? You can worry about a Flesh Taker being big, but Eldborn can't actually afford to attack.
I think Eldborn is the beatdown. I mean, he needs to win because the opportunist is going to take over
Yep,
the long game, almost
it
almost
sure
definitely.
does.
And also, we know that there's a Meathook massacre and Dreadhound and stuff and
Yeah,
stuff like that,
boy.
which are all like not
Yeah, no, meat hook takes virtually nothing off Scott's side of the board either, so it's horrifically asymmetric.
absolutely.
Yep, Oppo goes,
Ah.
but it's exiled, so can't crawl straight back out.
Did you know that Meathook massacre actually is the top black card when in improvement when drawn in this traditional draft?
Ah,
Didn't know that.
excellent. Man, how many screens do you have open? The ultimate pundit.
I have just like 6 tabs with a bracket, like 3 deck
Furiously
lists,
clicking.
and I think actually the thing that's always surprising me if I look at these stats, like the third best black card in improvement drawn is Ecstatic Awakener. I don't know when we had that a common is the third card.
Mmm.
It's like pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's a beast. So Sanctifier does a little bit more sorting.
Yeah. So not too scary for Scott. He's facing a 14 clock now, but
Dryad's Revival. Not all the stuff in the graveyards to be pulling back just yet. But again, still plenty of options. Clock's gotten a little bit shorter. Now there's another flyer on the board, but so it's
yeah.
the question of when to pressure. Does he like putting a counter on the horde to make it that little bit bigger?
Yeah. That's an important counter because it forces the second sack for the flash taken.
Yep.
Should it come to that? I think he also definitely wants to attack with at least one of the Decayed zombies. Just to make something die.
Yep. No siege zombie as well, so well, he's just sending the full cards. Trading there.
that Lunar Veteran and his life gain.
Farmer rather than Shadow Beast. Interesting. Celestis, Dreadhound, and Guide join the yard, so the doggo can crawl out.
Yeah, but he can't cast it in the same turn, either with Revival nor with Coral.
Indeed.
Sadly,
No,
but I mean, still,
nor
still
Dryad's Revival, but yeah, nice to have a threat.
I think if Eldborn doesn't add another threat, God still is not in a bad position here, because once the Dreadhound comes down, he's also killing pretty quickly.
Yep. So it's just a question of whether these flyers are going to get Eldborn over the line before that happens.
That Whisper would actually be pretty good here now. Just shortening the clock, putting another blocker out. I mean, he has to have some action in hand.
For sure. There we go.
He's
That's
sanctified a lot.
That's a decent wall. More land off the top for Scott. That's probably not what he wants to see in this situation.
Not really, no. It's 7 mana. I think he needs to go something like Revival and Shadow Beast.
Yeah, that's what I'd do. Revival for Doggo. Shadow Beast.
Here, by the way, you can see my big expertise in seeing that he has 7 mana and he has exactly 1 line available that uses the mana. And I found it.
No, you could crawl and revival. It's just that doesn't develop the board. So you found the optimal line.
Yeah. I guess you could crawl. I guess you could even crawl, and I don't know what he has in his yard.
There you go.
Find something, but yeah.
You're the pundit we need. Don't talk yourself down. That's my job.
That's why we're team craft the bet.
Absolutely. So the board goes wide, but still nothing catching them birds in the air.
Absolutely.
Could get the Celestis for the incidental life gain, but that's definitely not going to make the clock materially different.
Yeah.
Whereas Dreadhound will, and Dreadhound may, of course, when entering, mill the bird admirer that can crawl back. So there's a few lines to find the bird.
Is it theoretically just time? I think add pressure here. But,
Yeah, didn't. I guess the hobbling zombie eat stuff. You can send the farmers though, I suppose, and the decayed. But yes, it's still a few turns to dig.
I mean, the problem is a little bit that the board looks really wide, but actually on defense he just has 4 creatures.
That's right. Yes.
So
it's those decayed tokens.
And he wants to wait with the trades.
Gumming it up.
Eldborn is already under 12 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the strategy for Scott now. Drag it out. I think getting the Celestis might have been a question.
Ooh, okay. That was a top deck. That was a disgusting top deck.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think yeah.
So what's the line? Ooh, return to nature, then Meat Hook Massacre. Giving up your decayed tokens, but wiping their board.
I mean, you're gaining life for your own creatures or for the opponent's creatures? For the opponent's creatures, right? And the opponent loses life for your creatures.
For yours, yes, that's right. Is he going Meat Hook first? Yeah.
I think he's just considering for how much to play the Meat Hook, because the flash take-up might outgo it.
That's right, but if you do any less than 4 anyway, all your stuff dies.
I mean, he can't really get the flash taker off the board because he can just sack even 4 creatures and make it 10-10.
That's right. So flash taker's not going anywhere.
So I think he needs to. Yeah, I guess you just do it for 2 and be happy with killing the rest.
Yeah, send them first. Punch in. So that was pretty much the card that Scott was looking for off the top to stabilize.
Yeah, that was definitely a decent top deck.
It's how you build it.
Still sad that he can't put out a creature afterwards, but he still has. I guess the Horde will be exiled, but yeah, he still has the Shadow Beast. And the farmers actually nothing dies on his side. What am I saying?
So is the optimal line for Eld here to sacrifice one of the 2 power creatures to gain Coven to exile the Horde?
Yeah, I think that's what you want to do.
Let's see if that comes off, because they've got the mana for that, right? It's 1 mana sack, gain Coven, exile Digraph. Although, of course, in response, Return to Nature's instant speed, isn't it? So
yeah, you
that will
can
still
respond to
disappoint. And in the end, the 1-drop went anyway, so it doesn't matter. See, I know the text on Return to Nature because it was a card in Eldraine.
that. Of course. That doesn't surprise me. I mean,
Of course, I would expect it not to. Defiance. Okay, so they're getting a 1/1 bird back after all this.
yeah, that's still a random threat. Now they
For
don't have
sure.
Coven anymore. They
Yeah.
can't try to exile the Daggerford. I think that was a misplay actually.
Well, those
I mean, I
couple of
guess.
life will definitely come in handy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess they didn't want to exile the Horde because then it comes back with Core from the Cellar and Dry Driver and stuff. And if there's anything that kills you with Dreadhound, then it's, I don't know. Actually, I'm talking dumb stuff here.
That's all fine. You're thinking graveyard versus exile.
Exactly.
So
Of course, it was all your fault because you confused me with your Return to Nature plays.
let's see whether or not. So you still got the mana to do it here, right? Sack the Decayed token. Oh no, wait, no, of course not, because in sacrificing you'll lose Coven. Yeah, you got it. Okay, so Eldborn is in a pretty bad way here, even with the bird in the air. Dreadhound is going to make things even worse.
Yeah, I mean, 9 o'clock is not really where I want to be here.
Yep, and he's also he's also got so if the zombie survives, yeah, you're tapping out there, right? So it's a 3-turn clock, but only if things go perfectly. And obviously Scott has an entire graveyard to dig through with Dryad's Revival as well. So Scott's effectively running his entire half deck.
And he's also gaining life with each creature dying on Eldborn's side.
Yep.
So
And pinging with the Hound. So yeah, Eldborn's
he's
he's hard up, hard up. But yes, this is how Scott does it. It's like they say in rounders, you know. Do these people make the final table every year because they're the luckiest people in the world? No, it's because they're good.
Because they know how exile and graveyard works and when they have Coven and stuff like that, and we don't.
We should definitely ask the winner how banding works. That will not be a question they're expecting. You're like, oh yeah, okay, you think you're smart. Explain banding to the 2 booth buddies because they haven't got a clue.
That's great. If I can prepare for that, I already can open the article on the MTG wiki.
So
it was introduced in alpha. Man,
it was indeed. It was bands rather than banding.
Banding and bands with other.
Yep.
2 features. Interesting.
So I guess Eldborn's thinking here about sacrificing something so the Flesh Taker can eat something and gain some life, but I think every line looks bad, right? That's the problem.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you sacrifice something and then Scott goes to 7 and your clock gets lower.
That's right. Hold on. It's not my game, but there's a chess term, isn't there? And you're a German speaker, so you can tell me. Is it Zugzwang, a move in chess where like every option's bad? There's definitely a chess term which is a German word.
Yeah. Yeah, that is super strong. Yeah. Exactly.
Superb. There you go. I can't play this game, and I also can't play that game, but I happen to know a word from it. So how erudite.
Great.
Thank you.
That's the pub quiz, no less.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It,
yeah, this island does pubs and quizzes well. So that's another life gain, and every penny counts for Scott's total. I think Eldborn is really up against it now.
Yes.
If he keeps sacrificing stuff to put it out of Flesh Taker's reach, he's going to be losing with all the creatures on the board anyway. So this is the last
Absolutely.
stand.
Yeah, I was wondering about whether he can play to any outs by trying not to let anything die this turn and then somehow get 6 damage next turn. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, man, Meathook
There.
is just a complete nightmare. It's not enough to be an asymmetric board wipe, but then it hangs around to gain life as well. Well, there we
Yeah.
go. Well done, Scott. Congratulations. Into the finals again. Third time in a row. Can the mushroom stop Scott? We will find out. Exciting times.
I'm definitely on mushroom side now.
There you go.
Okay, win everything.
The
Come on.
last thing we need is booth neutrality.
You
Come
did
on.
just in time to hear that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We were starting to worry for you there, and then Meathook came off the top, and that was kind of like, oh, yeah, that's probably game.
Yeah, that is that was the card I was hoping for, either to mill it so I could get it back with a revival or draw it. It was the one thing that was going to solve all my problems.
There you go. And yes, I mean, the kudos for the well-built deck. Farmer's helping you churn through it. You did everything right. So that's how you make the finals.
And also thank you for giving our anecdotal evidence to the fact that Mitoku Massacre is the best black card in the set.
Yes.
Like with like 10% win rating piece when drawn.
Yeah,
We
Mianthril
now
got
know
to
where
start
that
talking
comes from.
stats. So you've truly served.
Happy to help.
Excellent. So, you and Mushroom are in the finals pod. So I guess what we're looking for is share and deafen from the sharer. I'm trying to remember if previously we've asked the person not sharing to leave as well as an additional metric of jurisprudence, but I don't know if it's necessary or not.
I'm happy
Yeah,
to
that
duck
makes
out
sense.
if you
I
guys
can't
wanna-
really share my screen because my internet's not the greatest. I'm at like a different
Cool.
location.
So
yeah, I can just leave.
Good man. What I suggest then is we'll have Scott sharing the whole time deafened. And just to recap, because this is Mushroom's first final, it's best of 5. So Scott will send a best of 3. You start with your standard deck. Once that best of 3 is done, whether it's 2-0 or 2-1, you get to pre-board, and then we send another best of 3 with the person deciding whether or not they play or draw, of course, because we're carrying on effectively from the previous best of 3. And then as soon as someone hits 3 wins, we just stop then and there. So that's the process. We'll get Scott to send all of the invitations. So, Mushroom, if you're choosing play or draw for the second half of the best of 5, just use chat or some way or ping Scott to let them know what your preference is.
Okay. Yeah, so I get to pick because I was in the winner bracket or whatever.
Bingo! That's it. I knew there was a little bit of the rules that Murph expects me to know off by heart now, and I still consistently forget. So thank you for clearing that up. Yes, you do get to choose either way. So good, great. Then good luck and naff off, and come back into the room afterwards, and we'll talk to you about the matchup afterwards.
So Atomic is picking for game 1.
Well,
it's the second half of the
Okay.
best of.
Yeah, it's coin flip
Okay.
game 1, and then Mushroom gets to pick second half.
Okay.
All right, cool. Well, good luck, have fun, Scott. I'll see you guys on the flip side.
Come join us later. Yep. See you soon. And thank you, Scott, for continuing to share. We will stay on your side of the game board. Even if you've heard, Mianthril is now actively rooting for the opposition. He's German, though. He's not Swiss, so we won't hold it against him.
I've won the last 2 of these.
Exactly.
If anyone out there is rooting for me, I would wonder what the hell is wrong with me.
You are truly the villain of the piece, but someone has to act to that.
Absolutely. I mean, winning all sets in GOVitational 7 isn't exactly an underdog story either, but
that's true. Of course, Mushroom is currently entirely unbeaten, so there is that apple cart to upset potentially.
Yeah. When Eldborn beat me earlier, that was my first loss of the entire GOVitational.
Believe me, that went into our booth notes, so
Okay.
we had that pegged.
So I've been having a very, very fortunate run.
Absolutely. Well, we will see how it ends. I suppose, yes, someone either way is going to come unstuck here, so we will watch along.
All right, I'll deafen now.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, finals time. So yes, Mushroom utterly undefeated, has lost the odd leg here or there, but has dropped 0 sets on the way to finals. So that's how you want to come in. I think this might be, if it's not Mushroom's first GOVitational, there was a few that Mushroom wasn't playing in, so kind of back with a bang here. And Mianthril, correct me if I'm wrong, think Mushroom's running a blue-black deck?
Exactly, yes. So our third black players here, 3 Rotten Reunions.
Ooh,
3
oh, and
Accepting Awakeners.
Triple Awakener, yeah? So looking for that early, juicy sacrificing for big Awakeners. Something interesting happened there. I think we had an almost match.
They figured out.
That's right, they're smart people. That's how they made the finals.
I mean, yes, like 3 Ecstatic Awakeners, 2 Vengeful Stranglers, which with the Awakeners are actually pretty good. We could get to see the Morbid Opportunist standoff, where both players just draw infinitely many cards.
Ooh, yeah, could see some delicious decking. Right,
I
looks
think
like we've got it here.
Oh, nice, we're in here.
Scott wins the flip, but Mushroom will be picking for the second half, and that's a tricky question.
That's actually an interesting hand now.
See, this is a snap mulligan for me, right?
I think that with Celestis, you could argue.
Yeah,
keeping
it's a
this.
mana rock, you're right. So, and you know, you could still draw a forest, or you can draw some cheap black cards. So, smart keep. Well done, Scott. See, this is why I'm not a finalist. I agree, especially with the Celestis. Keep is probably right, and you know, not
Yeah, now you're
unrewarded by the third land now.
very great because Celestis both finds more action and more lands if needed, and fixes the mana. So
Yeah. So
happy
Celestis
here.
first. We're going to ambush the Strangler before there's something for it to be tied to. Very good.
Yeah, I guess you don't want to hit your Shadow Beast. Still wouldn't have hated playing the Celestis there because you still can remove the Strangler probably and then play a creature next turn, but
So Celestis out. Only option. I can see that line. Classic pundit.
that's great that that arena even highlights for you what cards are playable and what aren't.
Absolutely. Yep. I do, you know, strive for profundity and usually fail. So this is just me on a usual day out.
Okay. Scott with a little pause here to transport the meaning that you might have options to play with, or just to scratch his nose. We don't know, but
Okay, so decided not to sack the token, having the Bat Whisperer, which brings another body down. It's
some pressure.
daytime, so that doesn't quite stop Awakener, but could do the Wolf as well. Keeps Duel up. For if the Awakener, that's a nice little riposte.
Yeah.
Does Mushroom have any startles? Because that would make life a misery.
The more important question is, are there even birds in the set that the bird admirer can admire? Because
it's mostly bats, isn't it? Bats and vampires. Okay, so
yeah,
line up on Awakener.
Bird.
Yeah, so we're going to see sack then duel, aren't we?
I guess so, yes. That's quite nicely.
So still gets the cards. But now doesn't get the beefy Awakener. But 2 more in the deck, and still more stuff to reunionize to make some more tokens. So Mushroom's still got plenty of oomph. And another Strangler.
Deal with the bird admirer.
So do you like double spelling here with the guide and the woof? Do you have a creature to come back from the yard with Crawl before Rotten Reunion comes back up? No. Okay.
Not sure I like putting the counter on the bird admirer.
Yeah, because is that the first thing that's likely to get strangled anyway?
Exactly. But now onto our trivia quiz. There's one bird in Midnight Hunt.
Oh, a bird. Well, there's the birds that come off Ominous Roost.
That might be a technically correct answer, but it's not the card I was looking for.
If there's anything you should know about me, it's that I love an angle shoot. So I'm glad I found the edge case.
That was definitely the edge case. I just Scryfold type bird, and there's just one. So
Excellent, excellent. Now, I can only
it's
think of
3-1.
phoenixes now as well as vampires. So tell me what the true answer is.
The true answer is a falcon abomination. Of course, the falcon is a bird.
It's a falcon zombie, isn't it? It's got two types.
Zombie bird, yeah.
Yeah, like it. Zombie bird, yes.
So that's literally the only thing to admire in Midnight Hunt for this poor bird
For the
admirer.
poor bird admirer. There you go. Who's likely to be strangled next turn?
The question is, does he save the Timberland guide first? Might
And
actually
lose
be
a
worth
life. Yeah, it could be, could be. Yep, gets to draw a card. Obviously doesn't have Return to Nature in the main deck, so can't unstrangle himself.
Yeah. But I mean, he can basically use that as a sack outlet to draw cards with Opportunist.
Indeed.
I think he wants to find the Tiger Horde now, because then he has fodder in all eternity.
There it is. Oh, what a pundit!
Those are the pro plays. That's why Scott is double gold.
Yep. How do you do it? Some sort of Faustian contract between you and him. And there you were talking trash when he unmuted, and now you're literally calling the cards he wants off the top of the deck. Shameful. Shameful behavior.
I won't say anything about Mianthril Massacre then, because that's always great.
Absolutely. So, Diagraph Horde will try and target Rotten Reunion, which in turn will trigger. But at least that's one less issue. There we go. I went for Duel instead of the guide. Okay. Dryad's Revival is main deck, so you can actually get Duel back.
Yeah. I think you probably should have let him target first. So he just exiles one card, but it's unlikely to come up.
Timberland comes back, and Diagraph Horde is big enough to eat a demon. We still see some zombies come, so all the card advantage for Scott. Oh,
thank you very much for letting me turn my... Oh, God.
You said you wouldn't say it, but the problem is you said the words. I won't say the Meat Hook Massacre, and unfortunately, the way your pact with the devil works is that's good enough.
So the problem is, no matter what I say, I don't think there are a lot of chances for Mushroom here to beat that.
No, does Mushroom have a flip the switch?
Game. Does he have that? Let me look. There's one flip the switch indeed, yeah.
Well, there you go. So if that's in that hand now, and this Meat Hook Massacre is cast for 2, could be juicy.
Absolutely. I mean, currently he doesn't even need to cast the Massacre. Just can play a normal game.
True. Yeah, so many options. So many options here. Could go guide, put the counter on Wolf, send the Wolf and the Decay token, and then still Meat Hook for 2 if you fancy a little sweep.
I mean, the problem Scott has now is that if he plays the Meat Hook Massacre, he might want to flip the switch. If he doesn't play it, he runs into No Way Out, possibly.
And it gets milled from his hand anyway. So got to do it now. We didn't see a lot of hesitation from Mushroom about flipping the guide. So maybe there was do you think the guide might have been a wee timing tell? You know, do you maybe have some sort of counter magic up? Corpse Cobble instead. That's a delicious way to deal with Meat Hook. 17 menace. Well, sadly the Pestilent Wolf, sadly for Mushroom, of course, the Pestilent Wolf can deal with that in due course.
Yeah, but at least something else will die too.
Absolutely. So I think it's probably time for the Bird Admirer to go. Or you could sacrifice Meat Hook now it's done the job, but no, that's fine.
I think it's correct. Go for this.
So of course, yes. Mushroom can send the Mega Zombie.
I mean, the problem is now the Pestilent Wolf can't gain Death Touch, not this turn.
Exactly. So you have to put Oppo and Horde on it this turn to then cast Farmer to block it the turn after. So yeah, that board wipe turned out not to be everything that Scott was hoping for.
Absolutely. That Corpse Cover was pretty amazing.
Was it so interesting question? Do you think that was better than Flip the Switch, or do you think it was just different?
I think the bot set how it turned out now is way better, because otherwise your bats are still running into the Bird Admirer. I mean, now Scott really is a rough spot here.
Yep, no kidding.
I have
So
no idea
can
what they're
double
good at.
spell here. Graveyard Trespasser can get Corpse Cobble or Crawl from the Cellar exiled.
Graveyard Trespasser, by the way, the second best black card
Ah, there you go.
by improvement rate 1.
Got it all. Got it all. And and with the Celestus, there is enough mana to cast Graveyard Trespasser and hold up mana for the Wolf to have Death Touch.
Exactly, yes. I mean, it's
Doesn't do it though. Keeps the Trespasser in hand. Well, going to be punching in for 11 here once they set up the double block. That's painful.
painful indeed, yeah. He's quite lucky that AtomicMushroom doesn't have removal besides the Strangless.
Sorry, say that again?
It's quite good for Scott that Mushroom doesn't have removal besides the Strangless, so we can be actually sure that he will have 2 creatures to block the big zombie.
I see.
But of course, it's still like a pretty bad spot here.
Yeah.
No 2 lethal attackers.
I totally did the maths wrong as well, right? So, and Scott did the maths right. He did not have the mana to cast Trespasser and put Death Touch up.
All right, I trusted you.
Maths.
You're the math guy here. But,
don't you dare try and put that on me. Well, I think we've seen the balance turn. That Corpse Cobble was very opportunistically timed.
Indeed.
And that's game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Not quite. Can cast Trespasser and Sighting, and might only take 3 next turn. But they can cast Rotten Reunion to put another creature on the board. So yes, dead.
Yeah.
Maths.
Rotten Reunion, and they also have Corpse Cobble up. So
yeah.
This is
Although of course, Graveyard Trespasser is saying use it now or lose it. No, Rotten Reunion's good enough. That's still going to put it out of reach.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably fine with just going wide here. Not letting Scott gain some life off Meathook Massacre.
Yeah, that's right. If you can't go over them, go around them. So, Mushroom will reunion something, and that should probably put it out of reach.
Reunion is actually pretty good against Scott because lots of his value.
Ooh, yeah, so much flashbacking, yeah. So, will Mushroom crawl something to make one of the decayed zombies a little bigger? It's just reading the Meathook Massacre to do the maths, right? Will it actually die? But that all triggers post-combat, so as long as Scott's 0 or lower post-combat, the state-based action will kill him first, right?
I mean, currently he's just at lethal. I think he just needs to think about whether Scott could have a card that prevents the lethal attack, right?
Mm-hmm. Sludge helps.
Why not?
Turn that into a slightly smaller blocker. I think that's
now.
Yeah. Good night, Vienna.
I think before he had to pay attention a little bit for Duel of Dominance, but now, given that he didn't use it,
yeah,
can be sure that Scott didn't have it.
Yep. That'll do it. Game 2, sideboard time. Do we see Return to Nature come in? I don't think we do, right? Because there's much less enchantment stuff in Mushroom's deck.
No, I don't think so.
And not so much graveyard hate on that side.
I think the question is whether you take something like Dryad's Revival out because of all the Rotten Reunions.
That's right, yeah. Lots of graveyard hate. Dryad's Revival's almost certainly not pulling its weight. Is putting Return in. Oh, thinking about Turn the Earth. Oh, they're their own reunion. I also like Dryad Survival Hour, I agree.
I mean, it's still like...
There we go, seen it. I do like your little reverse commentator's curse, where despite the fact we were able to call 2 cards off the top of the deck, one after the other, the result was still a loss. So
Absolutely. I mean, I didn't think that they could draw the Dragon card and then me took Massacre and still lose the game. But well, Mushroom blew us up with the Ghost Couple.
takes all sorts, eh?
The underdog
yes.
wins.
A lot of that is obviously respect to Mushroom being the currently undefeated player in this tournament.
Exactly.
So, but oh yes, that cobble. Ooh, what timing! And of course, it sounds like the word cobbler, which is a type of food, so I like it even more.
Exactly. So what does how does Atomic Mushroom board here? Doesn't have a whole lot of options either.
Well, Mushroom is taking the time to consider those limited options. Limited options could be the name of my podcast as well, because I'm so bad at judging lines.
Limited brain power, something like that, yeah.
Limited brain power, definitely.
Oh, sounds like great. I mean, if I have the whole other sideboard here, Atomic Mushroom really has only Blade Brand, Bad Whisperer, and Crossroads Candle Guide as options.
Yeah, and
So,
he's got
I'm
enough
not
grave hates that a candle guide isn't exactly making the difference.
Yeah.
So Scott's in for it. Has gotten some early drops. Could even drop Troop on 2. Has got a way to admire birds, even if there are very few birds in the set.
Then
Birds
again,
and bats.
dropping 2/2 is not great with Bird Admirer behind because they're both power 1, but
Yeah.
it's really important.
Awakener on 1. When you got 3 of them, that's an almost constructed level. Doesn't like the early Troop, so it's going to drop it on 4 instead without a better option.
Absolutely. I mean, you also see like the great hidden rule of Magic. If you keep a 5-land hand, you always draw a land on your first draw step.
Well, there you go.
And then the 2-drop, of course.
Yeah, that's fine. Doing things in reverse, right? It's like, he's the Merlin of GOVitational.
At least this Awakener won't be able to attack for a turn.
That's right. Just sits there looking ugly.
Oh, and no play for Atomic Mushroom.
Yeah, this is looking much more exciting. This is where you wonder if they have sided in Blade Brand. Because Wing Shredder can now crack in.
And now you get the Troop on 1 and actually have common.
Little flippy flip. That's so now won't attack with the Wing Shredder because can hold back for the Awakener, I suppose. Do you punch in or not? Choices. I suppose you're losing the race because you're just offering up for the turn after. But what do I know? That's not why I'm here.
Yeah. I kind of like attacking here because currently it's 3 damage rather 3, but they lose their Decayed Zombie if they attack with it, and if they spend their whole turn
just making the Awakener bigger. I see what you mean. Need to develop the board.
Exactly.
And that'll do it. And there's
unfortunate, but then again, the 1/1 flyer probably isn't doing much against the Red Admirer.
Scott's still pulling lands.
Yes. The Meathook Massacre didn't help. Now take it with the lands.
That's right. Yeah, it seems to be going that way. But it's best of 5, so can lose this one and still sweep the second half.
Absolutely, but
or third half. We've not had that before.
Now the mathematician is coming out again.
Definitely not. There was a game show in the UK called Countdown, which used to be 2 halves, and then they made the show half as long again, and they still called it halves. They were just like, we'll call it the third half. We're not going to start changing our nomenclature.
It's the British public just will get accustomed to it.
No, absolutely can't handle change. It's night time and Livy is angry.
Indeed. Can I ambush something? There's nothing like amazing to ambush here.
Nothing urgent, but as long as it's night time, it's a fun time to have it in hand.
Yes, absolutely. You just love to draw a third creature to get like.
Start turning on Troopy. Yep, absolutely. So, attack or sit back? Sit back. Probably wise. Although
Yeah.
Siege will start pinging.
Yeah, I mean that's an 18-turn clock. That's fine for now.
Yeah, we don't have all night.
What's this pet Scott has? Is that the famous bird that the bird admirer is admiring?
That's right, obviously. Yeah,
It's like a
this entire screen is a gross decadence to me because I'm no sleeves, no pets, no emotes, and I'm just, no alternate lands. Just give me the lands that come in the set. That'll do nicely. So this is just,
Alright.
this is trussed up like a Christmas turkey.
these are even special lands. I didn't even notice that.
Yep. We've got some Nyx lands over there from Theros, right? And the is it it's the second one, isn't it? So unglued lands. I think those are over in AtomicMushroom's corner, and of course Scott's using the lovely black and white theme lands. Livying the New Awakener.
If I was God, I would hate AtomicMushroom for the siege of the zombie now because it prevents me from seeing whether he has corpse goblin or not.
Ah, that's right. Yes, it's a constant
Because
trick.
I think Meathook Massacre would actually be like his preferred top deck here.
Definitely. But because you didn't say the Meathook Massacre, it's not coming off the top. So well done
Okay.
for choosing your words carefully.
I see a Shadow Beast. Okay.
And that will not turn on Coven, unfortunately. But, bodies are bodies.
Still 2 cards for 1, even if you draw land next turn. you have something to
Exactly,
do.
yeah. That's a good. As long as you beat a Rotten Reunion.
That's true, actually. There might be a reunion, 1 of 3. No, there's still a pause. No? Yes, something.
Ooh.
And I'd imagine he would have cast the Rotten Reunion, right?
Yep. So you're thinking it's Cobbler.
I'm thinking Cobble, yes. Oh, he bought in the Blade branch, the famous sideboard option.
Yeah, also possible for sure.
Not sure why he would do that. I mean, I guess it takes care of the Blood Admirer by taking 1/1.
That's
back
true.
into
Yeah.
it.
Send the bat, eat the bird admirer. Now that's a weird story, isn't it? I went out looking to hunt birds. Unfortunately, I thought that looks like a bird. Turned out to be a bat, which had poison in it, and I died.
Yeah. And
Whoa.
then you're still telling the story. That's
Sending strong here.
yeah.
That's a nasty attack for Scott to tot up.
That was actually pretty good here because there are no 2/2 on the board or 2/1s. So it does trade against the 4/4, and then it's actually pretty good. So I don't want to turn it night, so I think AtomicMushroom needs to cast something here.
Yep. Are we looking at Cobble here? No, Crawl. Bring back Awakener. Oh, and can sack a bat to make the Awakener bigger. Lots going on. So Mushroom has managed to find ways of extending the deck's longevity despite playing a deck which obviously has all of the flashback cards. It's good building from Mushroom.
Absolutely.
Oh boy, this is a tough spot for Scott.
I think Scott needs to be lucky that I'm wrong and Atomic doesn't have Corpse Cobble and then top deck the Meathook Massacre.
There you go. Well done. You've done your bit. Now it's up to the Magic Gods, who we've seen a lawful evil at this point.
It's up to Scott, I think.
But he may not even have another turn, right? Just enough turn to chump and sludge off the potential top there is very nasty for the combat maths.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I suppose it's still trading with the Bat Whisperer, but that's still ugly. Very, very ugly.
Yeah, I mean, you basically need to decimate your board so much here that I'm not even sure that Meathook Massacre is out anymore.
Nope. Ooh. Thinking of keeping it back for the Siege Zombie ping, potentially. I don't mind sending it. I think this is Yeah, either way, it's hard for Scott. But again, this is the game. He's seen what 9 lands.
Exactly.
That's
At least he can
painful.
cast. Okay, I think.
That keeps the game a little longer, but of course the sludge monster will turn that into a 2/2.
Yeah.
Oh no, needs to attack to turn it into 2/2, right? So, but then you can't line up triple blocks on the sludge monster. So yeah,
Exactly.
I think just swinging with the sludgy does the job here. I think this is the end of the first couple of games.
Definitely looks like it, yeah.
So we'll see some pre-boarding, and Scott needs to sweep the remaining halves to make it a 3-time win.
Bet is already getting nervous.
Yes, doesn't want to give away the good game too soon, just in case. But no, that'll do it. That'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to jump everything here or something. Not really great.
Yeah. No, down
Yeah,
to 1. Oof.
Take it
Well,
to the next stage. See some zombie ping, yeah.
surviving another turn is probably all you could hope for there.
I mean,
and
with the
doesn't-
Meathook Massacre deck, I don't think it's impossible.
It's never impossible, but you'd want to cast it for 5, wouldn't you? And he will only have 4 mana, so the sludge monster will survive.
No, he doesn't have enough mana, right?
Wonder who? Oh yes, it's apologies. Yes,
It's like
Doi.
mana.
He's already got enough. It's again maths. Oh!
I'm beginning to think I'm actually a wizard.
That's
I think there's still the corpse couple, and there's also the hobbling zombie that kills. So
that's true. Yes, although he'll gain the life off the creatures dying,
gain
so
the life,
the
actually,
hobbling
yeah.
zombie doesn't matter, but corpse cobble does.
Yeah, corpse couple.
So corpse cobble here is still GG, but anything other than corpse cobble, the game goes on. But the way, yeah, there it is. The way he blinked over those was kind of
Yeah, it's always when you know doom spelling.
Yeah, and that is game. 2 life is not going to do it. Corpse Cobble, perfectly timed to go with the Meathook Massacre each game. So
the takeaway from this corpse couple is the ideal answer to Meathook Massacre.
Right, so we're now going to move to pre-boarding with Mushroom choosing play or draw. And
given that we're in the middle of the set, but yes.
There we go. So we are going to watch Scott do the pre-boarding. And also have a quick sneaky look at the other decks that Scott has. What does a 2-time, almost aspirational 3-time champion have in their deck list?
I couldn't really get a good look, sadly, but I would have been interested to look into his library there and see what the good people are playing on the ladder.
What Scott needs to remember is that by removing them from his deck, he's also removed them from his sideboard. So I'm hoping if he wants to put Dryad's Revival and the Wolf back in, he does actually need to put them back in his sideboard.
Yeah, I think the probability is rather low. I think you would want to do it if for some reason Mushroom decides to cut his weapon reunions. But
can't see a world in which that happens.
I don't think that happens.
Yeah. And of course, he's just clicked on that, which removes it from the sideboard. This is the problem with pre-boarding in the deck thing. It's doing something totally different. Let's see. Does Scott have an Eldraine Return to Nature? And if so, will he put that one in instead of the Midnight Hunt? I'm hoping yes. Go on, put the one with the pumpkin in. It's on theme, the pumpkin one. Do it.
It's actually a theme, yeah.
Oh, boo! Boo!
I guess he wants to avoid being disqualified for playing cards that aren't in the set.
Yes, that's true. That's a reasonable edge case, but nevertheless.
But he definitely lost the sympathy of the only commentator that still was on his side.
That's right. I know. Yeah, the worms turned. Now I saw an Eldraine card being teased at me.
Exactly.
Anyway, so I'm going home for Christmas this year, and my brothers have both started playing a bit more Magic than they used to when they were younger, and I've still got a few Eldraine pre-releases downstairs, so I was going to take them home, and we can pretend it's 2 years ago, and there's no such thing as COVID, and there's this new set called Eldraine that's come out, and no one knows about this weird blue-green elf thing that's kind of weird and busted.
It's an elf, okay, if you say so.
Is Oko an elf? I feel like he's got pointy ears. I feel like he's an elf. I bet if you looked him up on Scryfall, he'd be an elf.
I'm gonna look that up now. No, not Oak.
Although, of course, on the card it'll just say Oko, right? Because they go by name as Planeswalker. But
it's a Planeswalker Oko, but
I feel like if he's not an elf, he's an elf simp, rather, sympathizer for sure.
he has pointy ears. It looks like, yes. I mean, his abs is always a little bit distracting, but he does.
That's true. Needs to remember that Mushroom gets to choose the result. There we go. Fantastic. Well done, Scott. So there you go.
Are you actually sure that those are the correct rules? Because usually I think you'd start with a chosen result, but I have no idea. I didn't read the rules.
No, I think so. Mushroom's right. The privilege of winning the winners bracket is that you get to choose the result after pre-boarding. So
after pre-boarding, okay.
Yeah. Either way, I suppose chance has been served whether the coin flip is first or second.
Absolutely.
So we can see. Murph can come along and read me the right act.
But I still can't imagine that Scott is happy letting AtomicMushroom start here.
Yeah, that's tough. But of course, at the time of the coin flip in the first game, we didn't know that would be the case. So benefit of hindsight. Oh,
who's the avatar?
Sorry?
Who's that avatar of Scott? More magic trivia.
No, we didn't. I think we had a weird glitch out there. So let's see when it comes back.
Yeah. Oh, they're doing it the old way. The complicated way. This one. Who's that?
Wait, on the left or the right?
On the left. On the right, there's no picture.
Well, that's the Wanderer, right? On the right,
sure.
until it shows up. Is that Killian or someone from Silverquill?
Somebody looks like Silverquill, yeah.
It's definitely Silverquill, and the only dude I can think of is Killian.
It's not Killian.
No, okay. So and it's
Killian,
so okay. I don't know then.
Yeah, usually legendary, right? So it's like legendary.
Yeah, but not because Liliana's the Prof Onyx. Sorry, is the Planeswalker in Strixhaven. So I can't think. And obviously it's not the Dean because they're all dragons, and that dude ain't a dragon.
Yeah, let's look at it. He's quite purple. It's interesting.
Maybe that's just the ink, right? A lot of black ink back then was purpley.
Like he's really a messy person.
Yeah. Well, I'm left-handed, and it looks like he is, and we always smear ink under our hands while we write because of the horrific Latin tendency of writing left to right.
The big discrimination of left-handers.
Yeah, we're in the minority, but this. I try not to go on about it because I'm like the ultimate white Western European male privilege. Look older than I am, so moaning about being left-handed comes off as very churlish. Anyway, we missed the fact that this was a snap keep, so well done, Scott. And he's going to be up against it here, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, this is like a good start from Mushroom.
Very good start.
Quick me took Massacre would serve well here.
Although, of course, yeah, Awakener could already outgrow that.
Yeah.
Thinking. Send both? No, get the Oppo down and send the Strangler. Yep. Don't really want to block that and give a card. Yeah, this is that's a pretty tight curve for a Mushroom.
Yeah, this isn't looking good. At least you're getting the Strangler off the board just without eating something else. But
that's right. Yep, we won't be throttling anything. Bird Admirer on 3, okay. Yep. And then Shadow Beast is able to come out on 4 and be big enough for the Awakener, but this is just hard, isn't it? Do you offer the block here because getting Opportunist off the board is a bonus? Nope.
Yeah, I mean, it's still. I guess you're only one card because the Opportunist doesn't trigger by itself, but Still not amazing.
Tough time.
Who is that sneaky avatar? I still can't find it out.
Oh.
I even searched for artwork that contains quills on Scryfall and didn't find it.
Alas.
I also looked for legendary creatures, perhaps she's not legendary.
So, sighting is big enough for Awakener, but the problem is there's now 2 of them. It's getting rough. And here comes a wee ping.
This is not looking great.
Indeed. Yeah, it's been an unpleasant matchup for Scott, I guess. You know, not least with the graveyard hate, but also
Yeah,
just generally, like, Mushroom's deck has a lot of tools. Yep.
oh, this is like a blowout.
Absolutely disgusting. Yep. Yep. Draws a card, exiles the Shadow Beast sighting, trades with the beast. Ugh.
This is why the Way Awakener is just so dominant in this format.
So,
And then-
puts
is
down
the
a
Dreadhound
wolf.
coming down next turn?
Yeah, Dreadhound will help, I guess.
Dreadhound will stop the attacks, and I don't think Mushroom has great ways to getting it off the battlefield.
No. So it'll be siege zombie pings and bats in the air.
Yeah, I mean, somewhat Sludge Monster is of course an answer, but
Oh, yeah, that's true. Sludge Monster does stop the dog being fantastic. Good loyal doggo. Like Sir Conrad, only dog-like. Another Strangler. Ugh. So that's the old Strangler. If he drops Dreadhound now, and Strangler can be
yeah,
sacked with the Awakener and strangle the Dreadhound. No, he just got down to business. Not going to wait to see what else comes out.
yeah, that makes sense. Just shortens the clock.
Absolutely. Just keep plugging away. No sends, not with the woof. But still having a hard time here. Down come Doggo. Especially while there's no switch flipping to be had.
Save us, Dreadhound, or save Scott, I guess, not us.
Zombie ping time.
So
And the
this
bird.
match has definitely this match definitely went in a way where I'm feeling sympathy for Scott again, despite him winning 2 GOVitationals already.
You've got a heart of gold, Mianthril. That's your problem.
Yeah, that's indeed my problem. I guess next GOVitational, I'll try to kick them out.
Absolutely.
Myself.
Yeah, you need to be a contender. Plus, then that means we can make you featured drafter, and you can have the commentator's curse, because that thing is still rolling on.
I'll break it. I'll be
There
the
you
one.
go. That's the hope. Yep. So Bat Whisperer drops because of the life loss, which is splendid for Mushroom. That's a 14 turn clock, but more besides, of course.
I mean, yeah, he also has a siege zombie, so it's a 7-turn clock.
Yep. Maths.
And one more feature. Actually, he already has the Welcome Reunion that he can flashback, so it's even 3 damage per turn.
Okay. Troop can start pumping some stuff.
Needs to get some requests here.
Yep. Scott's got some work to do, but there's a way in. The Graveyard Trespasser has been sent somewhere they can no longer trespass on graves. And we've got double pings.
The siege is on.
Absolutely. You'd think they wouldn't be clever enough to besiege people, but sometimes.
I guess
Yes.
hanging around and not doing much is kind of a zombie thing. So
That's true. Yep, you will eventually starve. Whoa, more card advantage. More card advantage.
not as if AtomicMushroom didn't have enough cards in hand against
Yeah,
lots
it's an absolute outrage. Such greed.
That Augenhorror is just
Oh man, and a Gale Drifter and a Deluge to go in. Oh, interesting. That's something
I
off the
mean,
top.
even in these modern Magic times, like a 3/2 that draws 3 cards, kind of a good card.
It's crazy. So, Meathook Massacre here could run into Flip the Switch or Corpse Cobble again, but Dreadhound obviously gets some benefit from here.
Yeah, the question is, can he hold back on casting it? I don't really think that's an option.
Going for, will he get switched or cobbled? Siege Zombies up, so we can't be sure.
At least one time that the Meathook Massacre get there.
He's seen so many cards, but it sticks. The game goes on. That's a lot of triggers. I don't want to read all those. What are you doing?
I hope Mushroom just drew the Corpse Cobble or something off the...
Oh yeah, what a time to get it.
Just to rub it in.
Well, that is a reversey.
And now I like Scott's position. Unsurprisingly. That's why I'm the expert.
I was going to say, that's why we made you the pundit, for gems of wisdom like that.
Exactly.
So there's still time for some cobbling and drifting, but Dreadhound and Troop are big boys.
Yeah.
This one could go to Scott. We doing everything he can, but the tools are limited.
Yeah, this is with the Dreadhound pings on 5 life.
Yep. Yeah, and even Troop dying is effectively double ping because of Meathook, so it's tough. Ooh, real tough. Now Corpse Cobble, yeah, good holding of priority there. That's what we expect from people who are ongoing optimal.
Absolutely.
No, going to the Awakener instead. Also fine. Needs something else. Well, a Death Toucher is pretty much what you want just then and there.
Yeah, that at least does something. But I mean, still, it's 1 damage short, right?
Yep, still one short.
It's lucky that the Awakener isn't a 5/5 or 6/6.
Can reunion the Gale Drifter. I mean Scott's in prime position, so can do what they like. Does go for it.
I mean, that's 3 damage. How is it on 3? Okay, I missed.
Bing,
Somehow
bing,
missed
bing. Yep.
one point of damage.
Maths. Well done, Scott. Gets a win.
We wouldn't be great commentators if we just could do the math and see when it's lethal, of course.
Hey, look, until we get a letter from Wizards asking us to go to Hawaii for some sort of invitational thing, we can be the mediocre commentators we want to be here.
Exactly. Shitty players, mediocre commentators.
We've got it all.
We do good, actually.
We're the complete package.
Okay.
Some people don't want to eat punditry. Some people just want to watch a game, listen to 2 people talk a load of rubbish. We haven't even talked about your coffee, which I'm sure is long gone. The night
like,
is young.
Long in the past. Yeah, it's 6 in the evening here. Just starting.
There you go. Yes, I've been brought another cup of tea by my fantastic spouse, so I'm well hydrated.
Fantastic.
So yeah, and we're going around the in-laws for dinner because it's my sister-in-law's birthday yesterday, and obviously it being bonfire night over here, lots of people setting off fireworks and the like. So we're going to round up all the dogs we have together and put them in a room and tell them to stay calm and see how that goes.
Good dogs.
What can go wrong?
Hopefully they at least like each other, so
they do coexist very peacefully. Yeah, that's not bad. A not shabby curve again.
Yeah, that's kind of the hand you want to see.
You also want to see Oppo taking a mull, so well, Scott might be not feeling quite so bad now.
That's already good.
Yeah, if only he put that Eldraine land in as well, though. That would have been the icing on the
Then
cake.
I think then he would have been champion by now. I mean,
For sure, yeah, they would be all over.
It's just saying like that, like it is.
Still, Mushrooms on the hunt. Strangler, Timberland.
Davriel is the avatar. I finally found it.
Devry.
Davriel. Davriel. I don't
Oh,
know how to
Davriel,
pronounce
of course. Yes, the guy who offers you the weird bargains. Didn't see it enough in
Yeah.
limited for it to stick.
Yeah, and the art is from some Jumpstart Historic Horizons thing. That's why I didn't find it.
Aha. Because
But like,
Davriel's in AFR, right? So it wasn't even Strixhaven. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, so we saw the quill and I got distracted.
It's Jumpstart Historic Horizons. It's not even Standard League.
Oh, okay. Okay, excellent. All right.
I didn't even
Ooh.
look for Standard League cards.
What's
What are
with
we
this
seeing here,
attack,
like-
do you think? Do you think Blade Brand is in? Disgusting.
I think it is
Absolutely
in.
disgusting.
Wow.
Yeah, see, you
wouldn't
think
have
it's a
expected
bluff
that.
attack, but no, nasty. Nasty mushroom. He has got a heart of stone. Oh, well, I mean a heart of fungus, I suppose. Oh, this is tough for Scott now. That Blade Brand changes the complexion of the game.
Yeah, that was quite good.
Still can go Doggo and Horde, so you know there's some beef to back this
Yeah,
up.
this is by no means over. And the Celeste is actually a great way to
Yeah,
win the
control
long
things,
game.
get some loot and some incidental life gain. But that is a bird that's too big to admire. Oh, milled 3 lands, which in a way is good, I suppose, right? A bit more gas on top.
Yeah. I guess you don't want all those, but
With all those rotten reunions, I suppose you don't want stuff hanging out in the graveyard either. Oh, more birds coming. Yeah. Oh, and an admirer to take care of the bad. So double
at least
spell
you can
here.
I don't know.
Admirer and wolf. Yep. Mushroom likes the bird admirer.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be very fitting for this format if the GOVitational Championship would be decided by a bird admirer, with no birds in the format, or one bird.
One bird who's also a zombie. That's an identity crisis.
Let's face it, it's mainly a zombie and less a bird, I think.
Exactly,
Because,
and that's why I couldn't think of it, and that's my excuse.
absolutely. Always important to have an excuse.
So do you duel something to kill the Gale Drifter and then exile it with the Horde, just to get extra value from the Diagraph Horde? Doesn't like it.
You can even kill something else, like the Opportunist.
Yep, that's true.
Because
Bird Admirer does the job anyway.
yeah. And at some point you can flip it to Knight then. Even discourage any attack.
Yep, you saw it.
Some sieging to be done here.
A little 1, 2, 3. Oppo goes. Less card advantage. And the pings are real.
And now the Celestis will need to do some work, find some action.
Well, milling those lands with Sir Doggo was a start.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the loot you get the life gain as well, which could be crucial. Double demon. Yeah, read all that extra text. Make sure you know how the rare works.
Hope that Mushroom makes it night by not casting anything.
Yeah, a freebie. But no, goes with the siege to make the bat. And that's enough for this turn. But Scott's
That's a fine
looking,
card to draw.
yeah, Scott's looking pretty hefty.
I mean, the problem is that you're losing to the siege zombie pings.
Yeah, so do have to send some stuff, or at the very least get the Celestis to get you enough life gain to offset it. Which it's not, because Celestis only does one at a time, and they've got enough creatures for 2 a turn with the zombie.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Send Diagraph. Can afford to, and the Wolf, I suppose, with Death Touch. You're happy to trade down to reduce the siege zombies' efficacy.
Yeah, I think.
Doesn't like
I
it
would
though.
have gotten aggressive here, but then again.
Well, still pretty much in control of the day-night cycle on Scott's side. We just have to see what Mushroom can cook up.
Yeah, totally. I'm just really worried about life totals at this point.
Yeah, it's getting thin. A Death Toucher never hurts.
It's like 7 creatures now. Okay, so at least he won't get to 9 this run.
But the clock is ticking upwards. And
The important question is now.
Oh, a siege zombie of his own.
I think that's a card I'd actually want to loot away.
Yep, with the Celestis, it's not quite got the it's not quite got what you need this turn.
Exactly. You can even get like two flips of the Celestis by not casting anything, hoping you survive the next turn, and then for the Meathook Massacre.
Very good. Bird Admirer can now eat the Whale Drifter.
So he did have out of double black. I don't think that was good.
Yes, the auto tapper did hurt the Meathook drop.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if Meathook on 2 is lethal right now. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 creatures dying.
Yeah, plus the attacks that follow with the soft demons. Thank goodness you're here to do the maths, Mianthril.
Yeah, I guess my feeling is that it's still lethal because like 9 pings of Dreadhound plus like a few from
what's left
from the creatures dying.
Yeah.
And then he's on 4 or something. But I mean, it didn't happen anyways.
It's because you didn't use the full card name, obviously.
Of course.
So
I really need to pay attention not to name lands now for Scott because that's not what you want to draw. What you want to draw?
Certainly the option of calling it into being. Well, yeah, I mean this is all about what Scott gets, right? Because the siege zombie is now well in reach for the mushroom.
Yes, it certainly feels like he needs to get the next turn.
Scott will do his own besieging.
Never hurts.
It's a siege standoff. So is it a siege where like you're at their castle on their turn and then you run back to yours to be besieged by them on their turn?
Apparently, yes. I mean, it's like a mirror siege. Perhaps it's just 2 castles built really close to each other. And,
they're effectively besieging each other by just staying in their castles. It's a really polite siege.
Exactly. I mean, I guess it's much more comfortable to be in your own castle when you're besieging someone. So
that's right. It's just a case of who runs out of food first, then, right?
Totally, yes. But sadly, there's no food in this format, so.
I know. Yeah, believe me, I'm very, very saddened by that.
Everybody just hoarding organs instead of food.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, if you will it, an organ is a food, but we won't go into that just now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the type of organ hoarder is referring to. I don't want to eat those.
Never had brain?
I don't think so.
Oh, I can.
Just liver, stuff like that.
I've definitely eaten brain, but again,
I mean,
not for now.
I mean, you never know what in sausages and stuff, but not knowingly.
I like that on your CV. You should send it over. Has not knowingly eaten brains. Hire this man.
Yeah, it's a good argument, I think.
What do you think
enough brain
about
of my own.
sending the strangler? Because then you can strangle Sir Conrad the doggo. Is it kind of a no lose situation to fire the strangler in?
I think that's a decent play, probably.
I strive for decency, so
7.
says the guy who was just talking about eating brains.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm really happy that I'm not playing here and needing to calculate all those lines.
I know, right? This is a headache board, certainly.
But it looks like you need to take here with the strangler.
Yep, I suppose you win either way. Yep, it gets eaten. Sir Doggo gets strangled. Poor doggy. Don't approve of that. This is exactly why you don't pay attention to flavor when you're playing the game.
Absolutely. Just be competitive. Go optimal.
There you go. All about the branding. This is why we pay you the big bucks. Although, of course, sadly, we both live on an island where bucks can't be spent. So, went for the Birdadmar instead. Very savvy. Get those air missiles in.
He's sacrificing what he wants anyway, so.
Too true.
But I mean, the life loss is real from the strangler. If you can't gain life.
Yep.
Right now, that helps.
Loots away a land. Very handy. Tricky times. Ooh. You could Celestis, but then you will not have the mana to also cast Shadow Beast.
This is too
Yep.
complicated for me.
I was about to say, when it gets complex, attack all.
Yeah, it might just be lethal because can't block everything and then there.
Oh, yeah, and Sodoggo is going to go off as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to be a lot of carnage.
Absolutely.
Ooh. We have an interesting, and Murph's not around to answer. If Scott goes 2-0 here, they have to set up another best of 3, which I guess Mushroom would pick, having lost this game and won the winner's bracket. Good arbitration. Excellent.
That's how we do it.
Thank you. Murph's going to love it because we're effectively writing his rules for him if he's not been totally explicit. He'll come back and be like, why wasn't I here? What have you guys done? This is an absolute mess.
The whole integrity of the tournament is compromised. This one time you let Team Crab the bed.
Just rule the roost. Yep. We are the ominous roost.
So have you already calculated whether this is lethal or not?
I am not convinced either of them have done that, but we'll see.
AtomicMushroom still has hope.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Super dead. With the zombie getting through, there's at least 10 creatures dying.
Yeah, that looks lethal.
Boop. Pop, 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 pop. Dude.
Not too many.
Okay. So
we actually go all the way here. And
we have a deciding decider. So because of my inability to use OBS, I'm not going to back out full screen. If you could somehow let Scott and Mushroom know that they have to send another best of 3, which Mushroom gets to decide, play or draw, that would be great. Literally writing the rulebook with Davriel's quill, aren't we?
I'm on it.
He's already on the case. I'm sure he's probably already worked this out, but there we go. Waiting to decide about.
I'm also just seeing now that that Magic Star pinged us like half an hour ago about who the avatar was.
Oh, thanks, Magic Star. So because I'm really crap with OBS, once I'm like on the window that I'm sharing, I don't want to back out of it so people can like wander around Discord with me. So I'm literally the worst kind of pundit. I should be the engineer while there's actually two people who are competent talking.
I mean, I really don't understand why Amurph isn't paying like a technician to set up the stream and everything, but
He's effectively outsourced it, right? Because he's out today. It's a nice weekend day. He's like, those chumps will talk for hours. So what does it matter?
exactly.
So
And then they probably need like 5 games for the
so it looks like
the exciting match.
they went with coin flip. We'll make sure Murph knows that for the rules. That seems nice. It's Tool deciding decider. Oh no, okay, right. So they've just seen the message. Okay, right. Scratch that out in the rule book. Get the ink quill. Sorry, Scott.
He reacted before and even so, and I think he saw it. Might
Cool.
just have been an error.
Cool. That's fine. We'll crack on. We've not yet been talking for 2 whole hours, Mianthril, so I'm sure that your ears aren't bleeding yet.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm actually quite enjoying myself.
That's good. That'll be the coffee if it hasn't worn off.
Absolutely. I'm already thinking of making another one after this match. But,
Nay, treat yourself.
I'm not going to bed early anyway, so. And luckily, my first appointment tomorrow is like at 2 in the afternoon. I need to be in the
Appointments
handball.
on a Sunday. Good work. Very efficient. I'm trying to do nothing tomorrow.
Yeah, for some reason, lots of people want to meet tomorrow. Like some Zoom meeting, and some handball match lined up where I need to be the, how do you call, like not the referee, but the people that are sitting at the side and writing everything down.
Yeah. Officiator.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm just kind of watching along here, right? They're playing this one. Okay, there we go. We've got there.
Nice job drawing the opportunities.
Oh yeah, it looked a little worrying, didn't it? Until the 3-drop slot got filled.
Ooh.
So
Now, if you can line up the Dimitri Massacre nicely, not to get blown out by Flip or.
well, there we go. This'll do it, right? Meat hook's only for meat hook for 1. Yeah. What do you think? Oh no, goes Oppo. I would have gone meat hook for 1 there and just been super greedy.
I think I like holding it for the moment.
There you go. We need some Discord in the Discord pundit chat. Send. Knows that Blade Brand's around.
Yeah.
But is also just making that Awakener a little bigger.
Yeah, I guess blocking the Strangler doesn't accomplish anything because he can sacrifice it anyways.
Yeah.
And he will always do it if it's good.
Send both Shadow Beast. Poor old Morbid Oppo gets strangled. No? Ah, yes, the Siege Zombie first. Wants another card or 2 first.
I mean, Siege Zombie will probably die to the Meteor Massacre anyway, so.
Indeed. And Zombies probably got meat hooks really easily because they've already started to decay.
And also, I'd imagine that they've grown a little bit tired of the long sieges, so.
That's right. They're looking for a rest. Hang around a while.
Why did we build our castles so close to each other?
Yeah, fools. Straight trades. Another Awakener.
Static.
So now's the question. Keep building the board.
Yeah.
Can send the Oppo. No problem there. Diagraph Horde, so you've got sack fodder for the Oppo.
Yeah, I think you're just trying to pressure him. Even without the Massacre, you're in a pretty good spot. Next turn, their town's coming.
So
might have, yeah, That's the card I expected, Mushroom Sand. But yeah, he's drawing a lot of cards.
He sure is. He's got the advantage.
I hate to say it, but I feel like triple gold is not too unlikely at the moment.
Yeah, didn't think that at 2-0 during the first half, and of course we got the game of 3 halves, so that's another thing.
Totally.
So we are just we are ruining Murph's legacy right now. That's what we're doing.
I mean, at the beginning we thought it was a massacre one way, Mushroom just massacring Martin, and now
But
perhaps
now
Meathook is winning in the
the
end.
meat hook has turned into a question mark.
That's very poetic.
Thank you. I didn't even have it in my show notes. I just made that up.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's right. It's mostly puns. My wife hates puns.
So you're using them all on our Discord.
Yeah, well, no, I
wife
still
won't
use
hear
them
them.
at home, but she no longer actively eye rolls. I think she's just learned to live with it. So another draw off a token here, and at some point the Morbid Opportunist is probably going to have to die at his own strangled hands.
I mean, at the moment it's providing a safe outlet to draw cards. So
Yeah, I suppose there's Reunion in the deck as well, so can still mech some zombies.
reunion, your reunion, perhaps.
Well,
Reunion
if they
extra
reunion the reunion to the reunion, your reunion fizzles. So don't want to do that.
I guess so. Yes, that's true. You can actually just play the reunion without targeting anything, right?
You can submit 0. You are right.
I think.
But now, of course, he can reunion the reunion because he's tapped out. Thinking of hanging things on hooks. Wouldn't be a bad thing, I suppose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lose 5 life. Send the dog. Not quite dead, though. Not dead enough.
Not quite dead, but it's really hard to imagine how Mushroom overcomes the pings from the massacre
and then the dog still being around. Yeah. So this could be it.
And I mean, I see if it's 4 even. Okay, just leaving the red on the bullet.
Yeah.
It's like 5, 7 pings.
Yeah. Oh, and of course there's that's nasty. Down to 2 life. So yes, with the Meat Hook Massacre as well. I think that's good night Vienna. I've said that already earlier. That's how long we've been on. I'm using the same terrible turns of phrase. I've recycled my playbook.
Should I type something to them that they need to finish fast? So,
otherwise, I'm going to run out of puns. Disaster.
Cardlinger is really not knowing what he's talking about here.
Well, I mean, this was some delicious viewing. Mushroom finally comes unstuck and goes 2-3 after a 2-0 start. There's a lot here, a lot to unpack. But we'll get Scott to talk, and we've asked Mushroom to join us afterwards, so we'll watch for Mushroom to come by. But well done, Scott. 3 in a row. Is there anyone who can unseat this guy? Congratulations, Scott.
Thank you very much.
Commiserations, Mushroom.
Yeah, I game 4, I had Memory Deluge in my hand the entire game, and just never drew that second. I just drew everything else. But yeah, that's how it goes.
It made for compelling viewing in the booth, so we appreciate you both. So we'll start with Scott. First couple of games. How about that corpse cobble on your Meat Hook Massacre?
Oh God, yes. In game 3, I was just certain they either had flipped the switch or corpse cobble again.
Yeah,
Every time.
We too were really expecting that. We were like, okay, if this resolves, he's winning, but this is never going to resolve without getting some giant zombie on the board.
Yeah, that was something. So congratulations on your tenacity, Scott. In the booth we didn't think it was looking great. I thought the way you could turn it around maybe when you were pre-boarding was bring in that Eldraine Return to Nature instead of the Midnight Hump one, which I think you almost did, but well done for keeping within set. That's almost certainly a rule.
Yeah, my brain's a little fried today. I'm just trying to click on my sideboard cards till I realized they weren't going into my deck.
Yeah, the problem with pre-boarding is that a whole deck interface is not quite built for it. But you've been at it nearly 2 hours, so good work. That has been definitely the mental workout for you today. You can go and lie down in a dark room now with a cold compress, presumably made of solid gold, along with everything else in your life.
And I want to apologize to Atomic for clicking play first on that first game 5. Again, my brain was just fried, and I just automatically went to the button.
Yeah, I mean, no worries.
Best of 5 is an interesting thing in a format and on a platform that doesn't quite support it. So Mushroom, let's talk about your side, because obviously we viewed everything from Scott's side. So it'd be nice to hear some of your thoughts and some of your comments. You mentioned game 4 obviously being stuck on that unable to turn the tap on deluge with something.
Yeah. So those first couple of games ended up working out really well. Obviously I knew he had a meat hook massacre in his deck, and just not necessarily played around it, but
just having the
just
tools.
expected it to come at some point, right?
Yeah.
And definitely with that in hand, it was quite lucky, because I mean that card obviously just wins games right off the bat. So
for sure.
It was good that I had that in hand when I needed it in those first couple of games. So things were looking pretty good. I was like, wow, okay, I was able to hold off a bomb for a couple games and actually win those games. So obviously things were looking pretty good. And then I can't even really remember game 3 that much. I know it was pretty close.
Well, the good news is you can watch it back, so there's time for reflection when the wounds are no longer quite so fresh.
Right. But yeah, I mean, really just game 4 was, I think, kind of like the pivotal moment for me, where I just really needed that extra blue so I could at least dig for something, and then just kept getting those swamps off the top. So it was just, it was a little painful there, but all in all, they were really great games, and things played out really well. The last match was a little rough for me as well. I couldn't draw any lands. I also had Sludge Monster, so I could have negated the Dreadhound a little bit, and he has removal in his deck, so possible he could have just killed it, but that might have helped sustain the board a little bit. But yeah, it was looking pretty bleak in that game when I just couldn't seem to draw any lands to, because like my deck needs a little bit of gas. Like it's got a good enough amount of card draw, things like that, but if I'm not able to kind of like throw a bunch of cards on the board quickly, it doesn't typically work well. I think it's interesting. I think his deck is, I mean, it's fantastic. It's got a lot of really great cards in it. And I think, in general, our decks match up pretty well, because, I've got a lot of graveyard hate.
Yeah, we saw that in the early game, especially. We were admiring the perfectly timed graveyard hate.
Yeah, and it's funny because, not to say I feel psychic, but every time he was about to play like certain cards, like especially that Dread Horde in the last game, I just like knew it was coming. I'm like, okay, here's turn 5. Yep, he hit his land drop, and then I was like, here comes the Dread Horde, because like that was kind of the only card that could stop the Strangler on him.
Yep.
Like, because after that, if he's having to sacrifice, a card every time he's playing something, he's gonna
run out of steam. You're right. Those tokens coming out with Darkgraph Horde just at the right time was certainly pivotal. Yeah. So, well, you can watch back on the video talking about Psychic. So, Scott, Mianthril was absolutely your sort of Faustian bargainer. Every time he named a card, it seemed to come off the top of your deck.
Oh, thank you for that, Mianthril.
The problem was that I really named Darkgraph Horde and Meat Hook Massacre when those were your best draws, and then still Mushroom won. So it didn't really help much. But I guess that's on Mushroom for having Corpse Goblin in his hand, cobbling around there.
Well, so congratulations to Scott.
Thank you.
Sorry, go on, Scott. Go ahead. Winner's privilege.
I was gonna say Atomic did get an F-bomb out of me over here on my end when the Morbid Opportunist attacked into my Morbid Opportunist.
Oh, with Blade Brand. We were like, that is dirty.
I was like, obviously he's got a Bat Whisper. It has to be a Bat Whisper. He's just trying to get the free bat if he can.
That's right. Yeah, I'm not buying this. So neat. Good work, Mushroom.
Game there.
Yeah, loved it.
I knew you would be expecting that it was just me trying to get some damage in.
That's right.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
This is why you're finalists. It's that third level thinking. You're way ahead of the pack here.
Yeah, that was a great play. That was a good movement.
Well, Scots, hopefully someone will come along to unseat you in number 8, because as nice as you are, this is getting tiresome.
I will certainly try.
Oh, Mianthril's going to return to do it, apparently. And he's going to beat the commentator's curse in featured drafting.
Yeah, okay. Now that I'm saying it, I'm probably busting out like in the first round. But I'll give my best.
You got to be in it to win it.
If I'm fortunate enough to make the finals again in the next one, you guys could feature me as the drafter of the pod.
Oh, that's what I like. That's
should
putting your
not
money
be
where your
off.
mouth is. And Mushroom, yes, commiserations. Never fun coming unstuck in the finals, and you of course had a perfect record right up to the final. So that's it's tragic to see, but I hope you can take some solace in what was clearly some supreme drafting, and you can come back and do it in number 8.
Yeah, no, thanks a lot. I mean, it was a great finals. I think, I mean, obviously going to 5 games and being, all games were like really close, I would say, from my recollection.
Definitely,
so,
they were.
They were challenging. There were times you can watch it back on the video. We were like, the board state's pretty complex here, so I'm not even going to bother trying to count up. We're just going to wait to see what they do. Ultimate punditry.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's like mostly what you can ask for. Yeah, I was definitely obviously hoping to win. But I think part of that too, right, where I was like, oh yeah, I'm like I 3-0'd everything all the way here. Like, that'd be kind of cool to just, go undefeated in a sense through the matches. So, it didn't work out this time, but
it takes a great to unseat a great.
Yeah, no, I mean he's a great player, obviously great at drafting, a deck as well. So I mean it was a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun to play against.
It was fun to watch. I think it's yeah. A
was
lot
a
of
lot
people
of
might
fun.
not stick around for 2 hours to watch a couple of guys duke some decks out, but we've had a good time here.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I love Atomic's deck because there's some cards in it that just aren't, by themselves individually high on the power level, but the way they're all put together,
Yeah, they're absolutely beautiful.
amazing.
It
It's
hummed.
really well done.
For
Yep.
sure. Yeah.
Just, those first 2 games, yes, it just destroyed me. And to be honest, you're destroying me in game 3, except for the Meat Hook Massacre resolving at that one point.
Yeah, no, and obviously me holding up that mana. I mean, I don't remember what I had in hand, but obviously nothing. I think it was like a land or something insignificant. But you were gonna cast it regardless if you had it, so that wouldn't have changed anything. But yeah, I mean, I think that was like the turning point for you there too, right? Like once that came down, I mean, it was a brutal match to try to come back from. But
Right.
I mean, all the games were really great.
They were.
Hope those are fun to players to watch. So we should also obviously congratulate Eldborn, not in the room, 3rd place. Eldborn's come 2nd as well, so Eldborn's still in the hunt as well, not one to forget about. So I'm sure they'll be back for 8 to throw their hat in the ring as well. So a lot of strong competition here. Must be a lot more fun than just playing randos on Arena for gems, right?
Definitely.
Oh yeah, I think also playing in pod is a lot more fun. Like I wish in some way you could play in pod because sometimes people get bonkers decks and then you were in a pod that was really good or maybe like good in terms of the people drafting, so you didn't get past a lot of great cards. And so anyway, just being in the same pod and playing within pod, I think is just a really great experience.
Yeah, it makes a lot of difference for sure. So well, hey, maybe this Arena Open might fix that or make it worse. Who knows? We should probably shout out Amurph as well, who's obviously not here today. He's out and about with the family, but it's nice of him to constantly organise this thing. And as I really appreciate Mushroom and Eldborn and Scott like cat herding themselves to set up this final thing. But obviously that cat herding wouldn't happen without Murph, who's literally like master of cats, herding everyone into pods and penning them in. So well done, Murph. Great effort. Always fun to talk, fun to play. Always looking forward to the next one. And of course, we've got one just around the corner. He'll probably be looking to put one on maybe in the new year because, the set's around a little while. I don't think we expect Murph to do this over his Thanksgiving turkey, but we'll see. Cool. And thanks, Mianthril, for chatting along.
Thanks to you for having me again. And if I bust out early next to GOVitational, I'm always happy to go into the booth again.
Excellent. Well, we're always looking for booth people, so if anyone who's been listening along thinks that they can talk far more intelligently than me, I urge you to come along and give it a try. So yeah, great. All right, well, we'll sign off. Thank you very much for those who watched, and we're going to stick it up on YouTube, so I'll post the link so everyone can watch the games back. And I'm off to dinner at the in-laws, so that's how my evening's going. Hope everyone else gets to enjoy the rest of their day. Thank you very much to Mushroom, who got up at a fairly ungodly hour for Saturday morning. So respect there. Well done for getting up early and making the magic happen. And I hope you get to enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Really appreciate your time and everything.
Thanks all. Congrats, Scott, once again. Someone will get you.
I'm confident it will happen.
It
It's
will.
coming.
Cool, thanks. Right, bye for now all. I'll stop recording there.